Hey dudes, what's up? In this video I want to talk about tops, like higher, higher lows, higher low, lower high, double bottom, triple top, or triple tops, or head and shoulder, things like that, which are important to realize that when you see a breakout in trend, you want to find out if it will lead to whether it lead to a trading range or a new trend. Is that breakout legit or not? So let's start. First of all, we need a trend. I wanna choose random. Let's see. Okay, when you have a trend, I have to say something about drawing trend lines. You can always update your trend line, and even if you have a breakout, you can draw your trend line again and again. That's okay. And like this. Okay, what do we have here? What have we got here? I want to remind you, if you didn't see previous video, I suggest you to watch that shit. It's a real shit. You don't want to miss it. But I told you that this pullbacks, we call them minor trend reversals, because they are reversal, but they are minor. They're not major. If it's major, we call it breakout. We call it major trend reversal, or breakout, or succeed breakout, whatever. But how can we predict that shit? How can we predict that this pullback could be a major or minor? Okay, there are some signs like this one. When you see upper low, higher low, because in a downtrend you expect to see lower lows and lower highs, but when you see when you see a higher low, it's a sign. You have to be suspicious about the resumption of the trend. Okay, so it's a fucking sign. You can conclude that, okay, something is fishy here. We're supposed to have lower lows, but here we see this higher. What's going on here? Okay, so you can consider this possibility. You may see a breakout above this trend line, and it's not unexpected. So you can expect that shit. And we also, in some cases, we have lower low, but still it happens. Still we have a breakout. But when we have a in downtrend, if you have a higher low, it's more possible. There is a higher chance that you may see a breakout, and that breakout will succeed. But we also have some areas, some resistance, which we call it swing levels. And as you can see, price didn't make it to cross this level here, this resistance, and there was a resistance at this point, and we had this resumption. And you may wonder that about the future, that what will happen. at this point, at this time, I can say it's not a bear trend, but it's not a bullish trend either yet. So the best thing we can call it is it's just a trading edge. It evolved to a trading edge, and it's more likely that after a breakout above or beyond the trend line, we see a trading edge. It's more possible than opposite direction or turn reversal completely and changing direction. It's more likely that we see a trading edge. But let's see other examples like this one. Okay, in this up bull trend, we see higher high. Why we call it this way? Because it's higher than this high, so it's a higher high. The recent this one was a higher low. Why is that? Because it's a low higher than previous low, so we call it higher low. In bull trend, if you in bearish trend, if you see a higher low, it's more likely, and it's more likely that the breakout succeed. But if it's lower low like this, it probably failed like this one. But it happens too. But the chance of this is higher than this one, because you have some tension, you see some eager and passion in price, in chart, and here bulls are stronger, much stronger than here, because they form higher low and they're trying to change the game. So you have to consider this. But yeah, here we have this higher high, but here this one we have a lower high, and after that, why we call it lower high? Because this high is lower than this. In bull trend, when you have a lower high, it's the highest it's the highest chance, it's the best thing to happen, because you can see from this breakout too. If you can draw a trend line here. You can see a breakout here. You can see this give up bars, and after that you see this a small pullback and lower high. So you can predict and you can understand that there's something going on, and the bears, they have some activities, and they're doing something that they're not idiots, and they're trying to change the trend. But there are some you can use some big picture. For instance, there is a resistance at this top, at this high. So when you draw this, you expect to see a change, or at least a pullback when price reaches this level. So, and you can use other things like measure moves. I talked about that before, but if I'm gonna remind you, you have first leg, and you expect to see if it's strong enough. You expect to see the second leg after pullback, after this pullback, you expect to see the second leg. Like this. If you consider this, let's see. If you consider this one as your first leg, let me show it to you. Okay. Make it more clear. If you consider this one as the first leg, and this as a pullback, and this one as your second leg, it's as big as high as this first leg. I just copy paste this, and this after the pullback, this one as your third leg. You can see the target here at this level, so it was strong enough to create and make the third one, because in most cases it's just two legs, but if it's a trend and it's a swing, we expect to see other legs like this one. You can consider this either as a sign to use for prediction and your target, to predict when the trend will change. Let's talk about other patterns. Okay, here you can see a head and shoulder. What is head and shoulder exactly? Okay, you hear a lot about okay, head and shoulders, the reversal pattern. You have this left shoulder and the head, and then the right shoulder, and the target is as high as this, the destination, the space between this neckline and the tip of this head. Yeah, that's true, but what's the concept behind this? Nobody knows, but I'm gonna tell you. Head and shoulder is nothing but higher, not head and shoulder bottom is nothing but lower low with a higher low after that. What's that? Okay, we have this left shoulder head, and which is this head is a lower low because it's lower than this, and this higher low because this low is low high, because this low is higher than this one, and you can see a head and shoulder, and you see head and shoulder pattern mainly at the end of the trend or at support resistance areas. It's interesting if you know that, and it's important if you know all trends we got, they end at support or resistance areas. If it's a uptrend, it ends at resistance, and if it's a bearish trend like this, it ends at a support area like this one. Okay, so you can see this head and shoulder, and why we have this kind of a pattern. Okay, it's a lower low because we have this obviously it's normal when you are in in a bearish trend, you expect to see lower lows, and after that we had this breakout, but this breakout couldn't cross this resistance, this swing level, the last top, this one. It didn't make it to cross this, so we have this pullback, and this pullback is at this level, which this level is where this left shoulder stop and reverse. So first we have this resistance, a pullback, and after that a breakout above this resistance, which is as high as this one. But usually the traders, they put their take profit at the start of this trend line, which usually it happens. Sometimes you see it can make it, and it's just we have this trend just reverse and moves just at this level, and after that we have a change. It turns and it evolves to a trading range or another or other things. Here we have kind of trading range or channel after this. So I think it's obvious now. Let me show you another example. Okay, another example, but this one head and shoulder top. You can see we have this trend here at this point. We have this one. If you consider this two as a head and this one as your shoulder and this one, we had this higher high because it's higher than this one, and this lower high. What happened is price didn't make it to cross this swing level, which is this shoulder, this left shoulder, and we had this pullback at this trend line, and it formed the head and shoulder. That's simple. And you can measure the target. Yes, and this is the minimum profit you can make, but usually they put traders, they put their take profit, and they take profit at this level, at the starting point of this trend. And as I said before, most of the tops at support and resistance areas are either double tops or double bottoms, or I don't know, head and shoulders and things like that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestion, you can share it with me, and have a good nice day.